Dear listeners, I'm here to give you a brief content warning for something that comes up in this episode. There will be mentions and examples of mind control and identity horror based around a resident that is created particularly around the 20-minute mark. Listener discretion is advised.
Previously on the Game Woven podcast. In the days following the attack on Bison, the streets were haunted by cats and the inexplicable theft of official documents as the Boiler Room Witches expanded their circles with the help of the Alley Cats and a mysterious figure whose identity was destroyed in the explosion. The powers that be declared martial law within the city, hiring a large company of mercenaries to bolster their security forces, isolating work shifts from one another and imposing a strict curfew as they searched for the terrorists and their allies. In Reprieve, a labor organizer named Yvain persevered despite the threat of violence, and for her efforts, drew the attention of the Boiler Room Witches. Tension and uncertainty fill the streets as we wait for an opportunity.
I'm kind of down with it. All right. It is Bree's turn to wander the city. Neighborhood, landmark, or resident. The compass is rumors, or the rumor mill.
I think I'm gonna do a landmark that ties back to the Boiler Room Witches, because I'm obsessed with I love them, and I just had a cool idea.
Okay.
Because there's a relatively central place that a lot of people pass by to and from their way to work. We talked about how there's like the lift from dark towns and places like that. So I imagine there's like a place where you like clock in and clock out for the day, essentially, somewhere where like you signify that you've gone to do your work. And there is a metal structure nearby, and some of the Boiler Room Witches have figured out how to leave like memories and messages in the metal so others can just, you know how sometimes when you're walking by something you just kind of like reach out and touch it? People can reach out, casually touch it, and pick up the message without anyone noticing.
Okay, so what kind of, is it a sculpture? Is it like a handrail? So what I'm picturing, we talked about, I've been thinking of it as the Sunset Gate, but the Sunset Tunnel that leads like through that chunk of the caldera into Reprieve.
I think it might actually be handrails. Because the struts are structures that are like built into and over the water in the caldera, so there's like, you have to cross a sort of ramp to get there. So they'll leave messages in certain parts of the handrail.
That like area has probably been turned into a massive security checkpoint, and also they're checking names against lists to make sure that everybody is showing up for their shift, and then sending people to investigate if they don't show up, making sure that nobody who's not supposed to be on shift isn't there, like searching people for weapons. Mm-hmm. And so it's this very busy place, and they're able to exchange messages through the handrails.
Yeah, and there might be like messages early on in the handrail could be something as simple as, if anyone asks, so-and-so is sick. But there might be more complicated messages towards like the middle, so people could just like run their hand along the handrail, and you can only find it if you know how to find it. Mm-hmm. And some can only be found by like specific people, and they probably have restricted the number of like access points so they can easier keep an eye on people entering the struts. So the landmark is the handrail.
Do they use forbidden true name magic to make sure that it only goes to the intended person?
Possible. Either that, or because they do a lot with like music and sound and the way different witches interact with the metal. Like maybe it vibrates at a different frequency. So it's like, I leave this message for this song.
They each have their own song as a name, too.
It's the song in the metal, and the address is just, it's the entrance to the struts.
Mm-hmm.
And the title, it doesn't really have a specific title. It's the guardrail, it's the handrail. Actually, I think there's this part where, like, people sometimes, like, stop to, like, look into the caldera, because it's, like, a little bit of a pretty view.
Lookout
So
point.
it could be, like, an overlook.
It's at one of those places with like the quarter telescope deal.
Yeah,
Helios.
I don't know
Right.
if they have those. Maybe it might also be like near an additional security checkpoint or something. I don't know.
Right on. What are we thinking for true names on this? It's almost more of a communication system than anything else.
Guide in the dark.
My brain just keeps going to it's just the guide rail. That's it.
Yeah. The guide rail. Yeah.
The guide and the rails.
The singing rail.
Ooh.
Singing rail works.
Kind of like the place where truth echoes.
That works too.
Okay.
Many names over.
Well, you can't just have one. Alrighty, so
No.
next up
Zap.
is
It's you, baby. What you got for us? What you cooking?
what do we have?
Good looking.
Thank you. Rumor mill being the thing that we're trying to pull in a little closer on.
Yep. So just anywhere there's rumors spreading around from all the changes.
Yeah.
Anywhere, anyone, anything.
We're gonna go actually pretty far away from kind of where we've been. And we are going to go to the shipping district. This is going to be a neighborhood. Port Tarsig. There's a river that feeds almost out of the side of the volcano underneath where the city itself is. And basically they use that river to kind of like fast transit things down to the port. And then at the port, things get loaded onto ships. And so this is like away from the city, but it's still heavily connected to it. Because the Ferry Folk the people who take the ferries of the Ferry Folk, they call themselves the Ferry Folk. Everybody gets the pun and laughs about it, but the Ferry Folk who get the goods shipped down the mountain to the folks on the waterfront, to the I forget exactly, there's the Longshoremen, who then load it into boats and then send it off, and then bring stuff back up. These people talk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's actually customary to you do one of these big transfers, like these guys just kind of swarm. You just transfer all the stuff from one spot to the other. Everybody works together on it because you need to wait for whatever reason to get stuff loaded back up. And then it's customary for those work crews to sit and share a small meal together before they split and they go their separate ways. So
Just had a total offshoot from that. There is a small microeconomy based on, so there's the guys going on the boats and they're leaving and they're coming back, and most of those are like citizens. I'm feeling like Tarsig doesn't allow a lot of foreign boats. Like, it's gotta be their people doing it.
right.
These sailors, they go off and they pick stuff up, and there is a small microeconomy while they're sharing the meals where they like pass trinkets around, and the longshoremen and the people that actually live in the city will like bid their own goods to like get these little trinkets. And so there's and this is also kind of how notes sometimes get passed too. Like if they've got some secret information or some good rumors or some special requests next time they hit a certain city, they might like slip a note or something in there. Like it's very hush hush. They do it very quietly.
Excellent, yeah. So the got this microeconomy of trinkets. I think that the reputation for the Ferry Folk and the Longshoremen is that is a reasonably respectable profession. It's hard because if you're in that position, being one of the Ferry Folk means you're essentially doing a long-haul trucker kind of job, where you're seeing your family, like, once or twice a week. And then sailors, you know, they're just, like, gone. So if you are able-bodied, they heavily control anybody with mutations. They're not allowed to have these kinds of jobs because this is where people from outside might see them. But, like, if you're able-bodied and you want to get out of there and you don't mind leaving your home behind and potentially never seeing it again, getting into being a sailor could be fine, or being a longshoreman and living down there is a good time. So, like, I think that they have a reputation for being rough and proud and kind of gossipy, but definitely apart from the laborers further up. They've got a sense of pride to them that the laborers don't.
I have a wild question, because this might be our only opportunity to slip this in. What does the rest of the world, or at least the parts of the world that Tarsig interacts with, what do they think of Tarsig?
Yeah.
Some of the greatest minds come from Tarsig, the greatest products. And it's like, yeah, sure, you've heard about people who can do magic in different places and whatever, but, like, if you need something done, you get somebody from Tarsig. If you need an engineer and you don't have a Rockwe handy, they are the people who create the premium stuff. Secretive, I think, almost. Like, protective. It's a difficult place to get into for outsiders if you don't have a lot of money to throw around. You're not going to get past the port if you can't pay the massive tolls to get up there. Very protective of their processes. But they're always willing to do business.
Yeah, very commerce focused, capitalist and focused, but they don't want to spread the knowledge of how do you actually harness magic and packet it like they do. Otherwise, it's bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
They're always open for business, but not for trade.
Mm-hmm. That's...
Do they even know about the Verlockery?
You could slap that on a bumper sticker, on a whole sticker on the ship there.
Just smack it on the side of your ship.
Open for business, not for trade.
Mm-hmm.
Are we at true name for this yet?
True name.
The Golden Tooth Maw.
How about the Gilded Portcullis?
Kind of same vibes, but, well, same meaning, but different vibes.
The Maw is, like, also good.
Yeah, the Maw of Gold, or Golden Maw, or something like that. I'm thinking, like...
That's ribeye.
The Rib's Eye.
Shut the fuck up.
That was a mistake.
The place where knowledge flows? Because that might also be the only place where they get information about the outside world.
Yeah.
The first impression.
The mouth of the bottle.
Or good impression.
A lonely ear pressed against a golden door. I like long true names. They're fun.
I was imagining like a literal ear just being disembodied.
I'm so lonely. If only this door could speak.
I imagined that animated Golden Age Disney style, so that made it worse.
Awful.
For that matter, it's the tin can on the golden string, okay?
Tin can on a golden string.
Didn't hate
That's
that.
actually pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Tin can on the golden string is pretty solid.
I was gonna say it's very common to refer to ships as tin cans, but that's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's because they're made of metal. These ones are
This is-
probably...
What are you, a
Yeah,
sci-fi
bullshit.
enjoyer?
Yes, I write it.
Shock.
Bad.
Nerd.
Yes.
This is my shocked face.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Lex, you got the last one.
Oh shit, I do, huh?
Rumor
I forgot
has
I
it.
was next.
Rumor has it. I like making residents, I think.
You do it.
I'm gonna make one of the 10, I think.
Ooh.
Ooh.
The 10?
Yeah, the board members.
Oh,
yeah, the 10 board members.
That's right.
Yeah, I think at some point we said 10.
I was figuring 8 sons.
It is now.
8 sons plus 1 police chief and 1 more a wizard. I don't know.
A wizard.
One person, nobody knows what the fuck they do.
Eight sons, a cop, and a wizard walk through a bar.
No, actually, a wizard is kind of fitting here because that would be like your chief technology officer.
Yeah. Your CTO.
Artist
Yeah.
or someone who knows how to work with magic stuff but doesn't do the magic themselves. If that makes sense.
Well,
Doubles as kind of a religious figure, maybe.
actually have some proficiency with magic. So we might not need a wizard because one of them is a wizard.
Ah.
Which the other 10 do not know. They are the one in control of Strut Eagle.
Perfect. Very patriotic.
I was just thinking of a bird of prey, and eagle came to mind. Could be a hawk.
Falcon.
Strut. That's a transformer.
Perfect.
Do it.
Strut falcon.
Osprey, vulture.
Yeah, strut falcon. Sure. I don't know why that sounds. That simultaneously is the cringiest thing I've ever heard, and also sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Feels appropriate.
The strut falcon. I think they are the oldest, so they are the first of 10. I think, and that's their title, the first of 10.
Nice.
If you're a nerd who plays bad video games, you get the reference.
If you're a nerd that watches
I'm
Star
a nerd
Trek.
to Star Trek, then you yeah.
Is that a reference? Is that a reference to Star Trek? I've never,
Everything is
Yeah.
a reference to Star Trek.
I've never
Seven of
Star
nine.
Trekked in my life.
That's how the Borg identify individual units. It's all good.
Oops.
I missed that.
No,
I
oops.
missed over that part in Star Trek lore, but that makes sense.
We've accidentally a Borg. Sorry, I don't know what the Borg do. Are they cool?
No, well, they're interesting. How do you mean?
You
The
like
cool?
faces
assimilation?
on the cameras. Just when I asked that.
As a writer and person who enjoys world building, it is cool. The thought of something like that existing, no thank you.
I have negative Star Trek lore, but anyway,
All good.
first of 10. Let's go with they use she and he because you. That's why. You know what? Actually, so I was gonna say that they are actually a specialist in true name magic.
Ooh, oh my.
And I think the pronoun thing is actually them going, no, you don't get to know.
Oh, it's like a security measure.
They're not even queer in any way. They're just like, no, you don't get to know.
But are they actually secretly still queer?
If you feel like it. Maybe they're just denying something.
There's a lot of that going on.
I feel like maybe she isn't. Like I don't know.
Which makes her worse.
I'm thinking of it does, and you know she's probably not a great person.
No, I was gonna have her not be a great person.
I'm thinking of like the cybersecurity tech nerds that I know, and the length that they will go to protect their identity because they know just how. Like they know every single way that you can capture someone's identity online.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh yeah, I've got a magnetized wallet so that you can't like use the Wi-Fi on your phone to hack into the RFID on my credit card. Like wild out there identity protection stuff.
Yeah, she's that, but for magic, I think.
Yeah.
Will go out of her way. When her true name solidifies, she'll go do something to change it. Like she'll do whatever she needs to do to wildly change her personality, maybe even like magically changing it to avoid the true name.
Oh, you think you know me? No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You ever have a friend who showed up with a buzz cut the next day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, but every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think she's the reason she's banned the use of true name magic. Because she uses it and knows how fucking scary it is.
Yep.
But as things are starting to fall apart around the 10, I think she's trying to use it offensively for the first time. Like, she's used it to, like, climb her way up for sure. Like, get what she wanted. But now she's actually like, who are the enemies of Tarsig? And what are their names?
Second of 10, the third of 10, the fourth of 10.
So then what kind of vignette do you want?
I think that might be in a board meeting with the other 10. Maybe. If y'all are down for that.
Absolutely.
I will always do a board meeting.
I thought about the asking the question of who are the enemies. How does he define enemy?
Oh, anyone that, one, might uncover their true name. Of course, that's number 1. 2, anyone who will disturb the true name of Tarsig.
Oh.
Because she needs that name to stay the same so she can keep using it.
Oh my.
Probably already start. It's
Super
close to
villain.
changing.
Mm.
It hasn't changed yet. It will soon.
I feel like the bigger a thing is,
The harder to change the true name.
the harder to learn the true name, I think.
Yeah.
Because Tarsig is a thing that is, like, it encompasses thousands of people, which means, like, somehow thousands of people came to a sort of consensus. And so, like, that's, like, not just a name, that's, like, a paragraph for, like, a place, maybe?
Being high up in the organization that determines the future and functionality of Tarsig, after a while, he can just keep adjusting to make sure it stays within what she knows,
Mhm.
except for it's starting to change.
Yeah. And, like, I think it's taken their entire life to figure out what the name is. It's like a thesis paper.
Yeah.
The true name. And then page 13, a single word change, and then went, nope. We're going martial law, nuclear. I'm fixing this.
What's the board meeting? What do you want out of this board meeting vignette?
I think she wants to go harder. And maybe
okay.
other people don't.
All right. How do you want to open it?
One of you is, like, coming in like the middle of the conversation that's already been going. We can put more money towards more mercenaries. With more forces at our disposal, we can better control the populace.
But can we maintain control of the mercenaries? You forget yourself. We are not the only people in this town who have money. We have the most of it, obviously. However, especially on smaller scales and in little ways here and there, we have, in fact, allowed some of our subordinates to become powerful. When you have that many people in the town, do we have enough money? Do we control enough of it to control the mercenaries?
And will we continue to have enough of it at the rate at which we've been spending it in these... I still think this is all unnecessary. I still think that there were other options we could have explored before it got to this point, but now we are stuck in this situation, and I think we need to explore other options to get out of this situation other than digging ourselves in further.
3 of 10 is correct. We need to close the information gap. These people have ways of spreading information between each other that we're not aware of, that we don't have control over. What we need to do is get our own information systems, our own networks in place. And we need to remove theirs. We need to pull them out like dead roots. I recommend payouts for anyone who rolls over on a malcontent or union organizer. And those organizers, it's not just prison time for them, but their families as well. That's how we tighten the noose. Not with more weapons, but with more power.
Work smarter, not harder. This is the case.
And who's going to pay for this, and how are we going to verify that the information they give us is correct?
Oh, well, the prisons, they pay for themselves.
Yeah, the prisons are profitable. That's fine. What we'll do is we will use torture. We will torture these people for the information. That's the guaranteed way to get absolutely 100% correct information from people that we've captured.
Torture never works. I have more efficient methods. If the spread of information is the problem, then we take control of that information system. Can you bring in our new friend? And one of the servants or something brings in a young kid with sort of bedraggled clothes, who the audience recognizes as Jack.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Who is this child?
My new friend, the Gutter King.
The Gutter King.
I see the gutter. This is true.
You make some interesting friends. How is this going to help solve our problem?
I'm intrigued.
They are one of the main sources of spreading the information, so I think all we need is to change the information that's spreading.
And how do you know this?
Have I ever let you question me?
Yes, frequently. I'm your closest advisor. I'm the second oldest. I'm 2 of 10.
I think she says something under your breath, which is your true name, and you feel like kind of
Oh,
like
fuck.
a pain in your chest a little bit.
I'm 2
Are you alright?
10.
Are you alright? Do you need a moment?
In a matter of seconds, you'll never let me leave that down.
I told you to start eating better and taking care of yourself.
If you need a moment, feel free.
And then I think 2 of 10 collapses headfirst on the table dead of a heart attack.
Oh.
Oops.
Turned to 3 of 10. Congratulations, 2 of 10.
I think actually what's about to happen is First of 10 is going to do something she's for sure done before, where she just like moves all your true names one over.
What?
Oh.
This bitch scary.
And modifies Jack to be 10 of 10.
This might be the most horrifying villain we've come up with. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, there you are, 10 of 10. It's good of you to join us.
It's good to be here.
Can we just end the scene?
I think this is a scene.
Hey, Lex. What the
Huh?
fuck?
Lex, what the fuck?
Thanks, I hate it.
What do you mean?
That was
What did I
great.
do?
But
Bad
also,
times.
What I do?
that was
What's wrong?
so good. That was really
What's wrong?
good.
Whew.
That was really good. The storyteller in me loves it. The person who has characters created in this world is just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Look at
What
that.
an incredible villain. What
Hey,
an
I feel
that
like-
was wonderful.
She'd only do that with the name she knows, like, real well.
The board.
Yeah.
I feel like those 10 names, she moves around however she feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally the she is the board.
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool.
He knows every bit thing about the board.
There's a reason they're only known by the number. The people that they used to be are pretty much gone. Has been remade into who one wants them to be.
Yeah, worst thought. Maybe you could probably potentially get, like, affected immortality by moving your name to someone else.
Oh,
Oh.
doing some shuffling.
Yeah.
We do like to do weird things with the names.
Me?
We do
What?
like to do weird things. Just in game woven.
Oh, yeah.
Also, there was a dude from the God Killer game who just like gave up his name effectively.
So, Emily,
I mean, Odette literally changed his name.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
there's very much a lot of Odette in that boardroom.
Look, we keep playing with names and I've been trying to make it overt, and here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
can we come up with a true name for 1 of 10? Is that even possible?
The namer.
Lol, good luck.
Just a bunch of question marks.
If you figure out their true name, you die.
A tree of names that has deep roots.
The unnameable.
My brain, where do you keep a lot of names? And the Rolodex.
The phone book.
The phone book.
So, you made the comment about, like, you can become immortal by shifting your true name to someone else. Do you even remember what your true name is anymore? Or has been passed around to so many people?
Yeah, they do things to change their true name so many times so they even know what it...
They, like, keep, like a handle on it. Like, there is somewhere a file that they keep close to their chest and, like, is well hidden, that just, like, a list of every name they've ever had.
And if you can, like, work your way back, you can get to the original one.
Yeah, their truest of true names, yeah.
I am conjuring up a true name that is the Minotaur.
Because it's such a labyrinth to get to them?
And that's the monster in the labyrinth that will kill you if you go looking for it.
It'd be really unfortunate if you misplaced that file.
Sure would suck, huh?
Yeah.
That for sure would be bad, huh?
Emily, we are ready for your event to close out this compass and the game.
Oh, jeez. I mean, there's an obvious possibility, because we all know where this is heading.
Yep.
But is there something that would be fun to do first?
In the interim, yeah.
See, really what I gotta do is find out with a fun one that you all can do really interesting things with, and then... Although, actually, I do think it would be really... It would be really cool to go through just with... We have this situation, and yeah, a bridge appears. Do we want the bridge to appear? That's a pretty big event.
Fine with going out on that. I think that there's
Yeah.
a lot to work with within the text of this game.
Yeah, because then we get to go deep into immediate consequences, immediate opinion, like first opinions, and just question hanging in the air.
What I was picturing is we have this like ramping tension as things continue to get worse, and now there's like genuine discontent within the old stock exchange itself.
Well, do they know there's suddenly a kid on the board?
I don't know.
Does anyone know anything about the board?
Yeah.
I feel like the name changing part sort of like muddles people's memories of what's going on, or like their perception. Oh yeah, that's always been the 10 of 10. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit has started to get really bad because suddenly the information that they've been getting is not good anymore. Jack is doing what one of 10 or first of 10 asked them to do and poisoning the well, and so there's a little bit of factionalization and some counter ops as things just start to get worse. Meanwhile, the entire time, Yvain has been rallying and organizing support within Reprieve. A respite, it's Reprieve. Yvain has been organizing and rallying. Yeah. Has been organizing and rallying support within Reprieve, and there's probably even like, in communication with the Boiler Witches, there's been a few small riots, there's been deaths, public executions, arrests, all of these things. And the tension is ratcheting tighter and tighter and tighter. It hasn't snapped yet. And then one night,
There's suddenly a bridge over the caldera.
then the next demonstration takes this group of workers to the Sunset Gate, to that tunnel that leads through the caldera. And when they arrive there, without any kind of warning, there is a bridge that extends out from the Sunset Gate across the lake to the far side, almost skips over the side, and lands itself directly at the foot of the old stock exchange. And they have a clear shot to exactly where they are.
So just a clarifying question, because like we talked about like on Strut Titan, they were able to like look down and see the caldera,
The bridge is leading to their front door now.
and they can't see. It blocks their view of the caldera.
Not the whole. I mean, it's a bridge. It's not like a disc over there. So it's blocking part of it. Yeah.
Here's the other thought I had for where the bridge appears.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just established rule, the bridge must be connecting something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that is an obvious option is just ends of the caldera through the middle, where Strut Titan is.
Right through the struts.
Yeah.
Oh, the Old Stock Exchange Strut Titan is on one of the rims.
Oh, okay.
Sunset Gate is on the east side of the lake. Old Stock Exchange is on the
Gotcha.
west
Okay.
side of the caldera. And so that is exactly what it's doing.
I was imagining Strut Titan was dead center,
In the lake.
like towering in the middle of the caldera.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually on the rim, towering over it even higher. Yeah.
Over on
That
Ocean
must make
View.
for a very phallic shadow at specific times of day.
Ooh, extremely
Yes.
phallic. So, is that okay? Is it alright if I took that narration, Emily, and this is the event?
The event is the bridge appears.
The voice of the city begins with Bree.
I think I'm gonna go with consequence. Because I like consequences. And we're pretty sure that there's a lot of people who use magic on the bridge. And this happens. Mercenaries aren't going to be able to deal with this. They're probably not paid enough to deal with this. I think this shakes up the crackdown in a way no one expected. Because no one expects Random Bridge to show up right as true names change. So I think this takes this pressure cooker situation and destabilizes it so it might not explode like it would have had the bridge not showed up, but things are definitely going to change. I think another consequence is this definitely changes the true name of Tarsig. Because you just took 15 to 20 different wild cards and connections to different communities all over the world and plopped it right in the middle. Knocks
Hell yeah.
everything sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
I'm also going to be taking a consequence, and even if the entire city itself does not explode into violence, a group of workers led by a vein go down the length of the bridge, and they break into and then hold are able to rally support, but they hold and occupy the Old Stock Exchange. I think as they begin to talk to Overtonians, the Overtonians know what side they're going to end up on. Mutants start popping out of the walls because this is the time where it's going to happen. As troops begin to try and move to dislodge them from the Old Stock Exchange, the streets themselves begin to contort and they get strange as the Boiler Room Witches redirect forces to places where you just end up in places where you don't expect. You find yourself knee-deep in cobblestones for no good apparent reason, and the workers of Reprieve have taken over the Old Stock Exchange. Lex, question for you. Does First of 10 make it out of the Old Stock Exchange?
If they don't, their name does.
That's pretty badass sentence.
Lex.
I don't know what to do
Uh-huh.
with that. Although part of me wonders if the ghost takes it.
If anyone can give the ghost a name, they've already established. Overton is me oppression? No, thank you. And is just already in on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think we needed to question if that was how that was going to go.
Yeah.
No.
That was the ultimate goal.
Yeah. I like consequences, guys. I like consequences because I get to say a thing happened. So I think I'm going consequences. So I definitely think the first of 10. Body they were using does not survive, I think. But one of their backups had moved the name to someone else somewhere. But I think one of the consequences is that transfer disrupts their past meddlings with names. I think anyone that they've messed with is now a jumble of multiple names.
Ugh.
Oh,
Oh no!
That
Poor Jack.
explains a lot of these things.
The names that whoever she moved a name over, whatever those names are, they're all fighting within that person now, I think. So now the leaders of the city, if they're still around in any capacity in the next 10 minutes, are all themselves, their dead siblings, and like their sibling who's right over there because they moved the names over.
Oh, this could have some wonderful ramifications long term for these people.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Worst case scenario, they've all had, like, there's one name that's gone through all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're like a weird hive mind type deal.
Yeah.
A hive mind, you say?
Weird hive mind.
Uh-huh. I do think Jack is having the best of it, considering it's been 2 names. So it's Jack and 10 of 10, and that's it.
Yeah.
Jack has always thought of himself as a 10 of 10.
Hey.
For sure.
10 and
Sure.
on.
Hey.
So there is hope for Jack, I think. With a quest to get some sense of self, there is hope for Jack. And there's probably also names outside of the 10 who have been people who've been fucked with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Names have gotten really weird.
Yeah, there's a handful of people who are like having weird identity crises out of nowhere. So yeah, I think that's the consequence.
It's pretty fucked up. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. Hey, anyone feel free to X card if any of that's too much.
No, that was rad as hell.
That's
I liked it a lot.
cool. I love that.
And finally, Emily, you get the final voice of the city for this entire game. Question, comment, concern? Sorry. Question, consequence, or opinion?
That's basically.
The thing is, I know I want a question. I just really want to leave it on a question hanging in the air.
Yes.
And you got any questions? My brain's broken.
Yeah, I have one for you. Why does 1 of 10 recognize the bridge?
Ooh.
And it's funny because I'm taking summer off, so that's
We're gonna have to figure
that's
that
for
out.
you. I gave that to y'all. You figure it out.
Wow, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Your true name is a bastard.
True.
That's been Game Woven, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody. That was Game Woven. That was. I apologize. Were you talking about urban wizardry? No, that was.
Say the name right, Ben.
I'm going to. That was. I'm sorry. Did you say Street Magic by Caro Assertion? And we will be back coming up next with The Quiet Year, just the summer season, and that's still by Avery Adler. Good night, or good morning, or good afternoon, good day,
evening.
whenever you're
You know,
listening
what do you
to
feel
this.
like?
I hope
Thanks for
Hey.
listening.
that you
Hey,
feel
get
joy.
the fuck out of here. Start listening to something else.
Yeah.
Play the
you
next
can
one.
just listen
The
to
next
this again.
episode.
The next one,
Hydrate.
and cut.
Thank you for listening to Game Woven. If you like what we're doing, pop on by the review section in your favorite podcasting app and leave us a review. You can also support us over on Patreon. This week we were playing I'm Sorry, Did You Say Street Magic by Caro Assercion, featuring Brianna Jean, TT Benjamin, Lex Olden, Zakiel Vasky Huff, and Emily.